friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the Netflix original movie starring Sandra Bullock, Bird Box. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos daily. You can also find me over at Twitter at Movie Guy 365. So, Netflix's original movie Bird Box has started streaming a few days ago. The movie stars Sandra Bullock, and it also supports a good cast of characters. John Malkovich, B.D. Wong. It's an interesting premise. It's getting a little bit of hype, so I thought I'd dive in, check it out, and see how it is. It's drawn a lot of comparisons to movies such as like The Happening or A Quiet Place. And while I see the similarities, I do feel it stands on its own as a different kind of movie. Now, the premise is this, that some unknown creatures or force, when you look at it, basically causes most of society to kill themselves. And, it's a thing you basically can't use your eyes. The creatures themselves don't actually harm you. It's something about looking upon it will drive you crazy, insane, or some manner, and just want to take your own life. Now it's a fascinating premise, and while I appreciate the idea, I'm also not a fan of things that are like, oh well, we're gonna kind of save on the budget, or we're gonna leave it up to your imagination is gonna be more, it's gonna fill in the gaps kind of thing. And while that works in certain circumstances, movies like The Happening, for instance, it doesn't. It can teeter on the ridiculous. Now, where it also, the comparisons come to A Quiet Place's creatures that can actually really kill you, are based off of sound, that kind of thing. And I feel that overall the movie is a decent film. It's actually pretty good. I did find there were a little bit of pacing issues towards the third act. In fact, where the movie kind of goes in between like what's happening in the quote-unquote present, like 5 years from now or 5 years present, and then it goes back to 5 years ago when things started happening. Now, I appreciate that aspect, and I feel that was something A Quiet Place didn't do. I thought that was kind of like, in my opinion, I would have liked to have seen the initial whatever happened, and then just a quick flashback, and then we could have, done everything in the present. This movie spends a good chunk of the running time of 2 hours and I believe 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, in that past. And I think that's where my problem with the pacing comes from. You reach a certain point where the past storytelling aspect is gone for the first 90 minutes, and then you're left with what the characters are doing from that point on. And I really felt that was probably my biggest problem with the movie, was at the hour and a half point. It felt like it should have been nearing its end. And when I checked the time, it was like, oh, we still have 30 minutes, and I feel like it kind of got to a point where it was almost rewriting the rules of the movie in that gap period. Supposedly the whole thing is you can't look at these creatures, and then that's it. But they introduce other elements where it wasn't present in the first 90 minutes, and I thought that was a little just to stretch the time out. And that was almost a painful amount of awareness that was happening. I did like ultimately where the film ended up, where the characters in the film ended up. It was a pretty satisfying thing. But I think that in the last 30 minutes could have been shaved 15. And we would have gotten a tighter story. I think I would have been more satisfied with the overall film. But yeah, it was okay. It was good. There were great performances, I felt. But I think that there was definitely some padding, and I'm not a fan of that in a movie, or in lengthy TV seasons. When you can trim about 15-20 minutes and have a tighter movie or a tighter series, I think you really ought to do that. I don't think you should fill it. I think that last 30 minutes definitely a lot of filler there. It was trying to invent a climax based on rules that didn't exist. So, I think if it wasn't for that, I would have scored this higher. I think overall it's an okay film to see. I would recommend seeing it if you can through a surround sound system. I think it loses something just being on the TV. It is provided with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. I thought the Dolby Vision was a great looking picture. I think it looked stunning in parts. A lot of the initial hour plus leading, from the beginning are confined to a home setting. But there is a chunk of the movie where it is in the outdoor woods kind of setting where they're on a river, and I think it looked beautiful. I think there was a lot of beautiful picture. The sound was good. It definitely lends itself to more of a surround sound atmosphere if you can swing that. It's good. It's good in that respect. There's a lot going on, ambient sounds everywhere. So overall, I feel that Bird Box was good, but I think it could have been so much greater with a little bit better editing, especially in the last 30 minutes. Too much padding, and it made you aware of it. So yeah, overall, I think it's worth a check out on Netflix. Everybody did a good job acting wise. There was a lot of great characters, but a couple of pacing issues aside, I think you can definitely give this one a shot. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Bird Box. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.